If you've just had ACL surgery and you're not sure which exercises to do right after surgery, watch this video. In this video, I'm going to break down the most important exercises to start immediately after ACL surgery so you can get back your range of motion, build quad strength early, and start your rehab the right way. I'm Dr. Mark Wygand. I'm a board-certified sports physical therapist, and the goal of this channel is dedicated entirely to the teaching and education on the ACL. Everything I show you in this video is focused on roughly the first 1 to 2 weeks after ACL surgery, and it's all the exercises that I prioritize with my athletes to get the rehab started the right way. Before we get started, I want to make the caveat that this is not a replacement for the conversations and the rehabilitation that you have with your surgeon and physical therapist, but it does give you a very good idea of the general practice that we follow immediately after ACL surgery. So let's dive into it. Let's start with one of the most important priorities following ACL surgery, getting your range of motion back. When we talk about range of motion at the knee, we're talking about two different motions. The first being extension, which is the ability to get the knee straight. The second one is flexion, or the ability to bend the knee. When it comes to range of motion after ACL surgery, the most critical step is your ability to get the knee straight, or extension. And as a matter of fact, most athletes will have what's called hypermobility or hyperextension, which means that they're actually going past zero when it comes to getting the knee straight. Our goal as physical therapists, or you as a patient, is your ability to get symmetrical to your other side. So whatever your other side is, whether it's completely zero or even past zero where you get hyperextended, your goal is to get back to that exact same point. The reason why we prioritize extension or even hyperextension for that matter after ACL surgery is the inability to do so can lead to chronic or even permanent mobility issues. It can lead to chronic pain, causes an increase in inflammation, and even from an evidence standpoint, this increases an early onset of arthritis. And on top of that, a loss of extension actually decreases your ability to squeeze the quad or contract the quad. So the quad's job is to get the knee fully straight. If you have a slight bend in the knee, this makes it much more difficult for the quad to do its job to get the knee fully straight, and therefore you lose a little bit of quad strength as well. So long story short, if you get back your extension very quickly and very early, this sets your rehab up for success later on. So when it comes to getting a fully contracted quad, when it comes to going back to walking, when it comes to going back to running or higher level activity down the road, a quick and fully extended or hyperextended knee, your recovery process is set up for success. Now, flexion, or the ability to bend the knee, is also important, and we prioritize it after surgery, but it tends to come back just a little bit more easily than extension does. So let's start with the most important exercises that I prioritize in the clinic to get the knee straight as quickly as possible. The first one is called ret looping. Ret looping is a neurogliding technique that helps decrease tone in the hamstrings and the back of the knee. There are 3 main steps to ret looping. The first step, as you can see in the video, is I'm trying to bring my toes up as high as I possibly can toward my shins. The next step, I'm doing a max reach forward to my toes or potentially beyond if possible. Followed by the third step are large head nods. So you can see that I'm bringing my chin down to my chest and then pulling it up as high as I can to the sky. The goal of this exercise is to maintain your toes up towards you and maintain as far out of a reach as you possibly can toward your toes or beyond. The next one I prioritize is called the belt stretch. The belt stretch actually helps you mimic the hyperextension that you can get or attain on the non-operative side. The goal of the belt stretch is to use a strap or belt of some kind around the forefoot or balls of the feet, with the goal to pull the strap towards you, allowing the heel to pop up. At the same time, your goal is to squeeze your quad and push the knee down. You can also use the other hand or the web space of your hand to push or assist the quad driving down into the ground. With the goal of this stretch providing a light calf and hamstring stretch, but also a quad activation where you're pushing that quad down into the ground. This allows, or as I mentioned, helps simulate the hyperextension that you most likely have on the opposite side. So it allows the heel to pop up while you're driving the back of the knee into the floor or into the table. The last one I prioritize after surgery is a heel prop. The heel prop is done throughout the day for an extended period of time, and it allows gravity to help slowly bring down the knee into full extension. The goal is to have this heel propped up or the calf propped up for extended periods of time throughout the day. This helps improve the extension faster, versus being in a bent position when you're laying down, when you're seated, or sleeping. Now let's work on bending your knee, or flexion. The flexion exercise that I like the most after surgery is a heel slide or an assisted heel slide into a quad set. So I'm in a seated position at the edge of the chair. I take the strap or belt and bring it under the knee. Using my upper body, I curl my biceps to help guide the knee to bend. So I'm providing a passive stretch into flexion. I'm holding for a second and then coming back down. I really like this stretch as well because at the bottom of the range, I keep tension on the strap and perform a quad set, which helps increase quad activation as well. So it's a very good exercise to allow the knee to feel comfortable going in flexion and out into extension. Another option that I use for flexion is a belt-assisted heel slide. This is another flexion exercise that can be useful. So in this position, I have that same belt around my foot as opposed to behind my knee, and now I'm laying down on my back and using that strap to help bend the knee up. Now that we've gone through the range of motion exercises, I want to talk about strength. So one of the most important and critical steps after ACL surgery is your ability to contract your quad and activate your quadriceps muscle. Usually after a patellar tendon graft or a quadriceps tendon graft or autograft, the quad takes the biggest brunt of the deficit. As opposed to a hamstring tendon autograft, usually the quad is saved and you have a better ability to contract or engage that muscle. The reason why this is so important is an inability to activate the quadriceps can have big deficits down the road. Another reason we want to activate the quad very early after surgery is because of the surgery itself and to some degree the initial injury. So after the initial injury and then made worse by the surgery, there's a lot of swelling within the joint. Swelling actually inhibits muscle activity, so anytime you injure the joint, whether it's the knee, the ankle, hip, all the muscles that surround that joint want to decrease or inhibit themselves. It's the body's way of kind of protecting itself. So after an ACL surgery, the body's first response is to inhibit quad activation. One of the most important exercises after ACL surgery is the quad set. The quad set is a staple exercise after ACL reconstruction. The goal of the quad set is to help activate the quad, which takes the majority of the deficit in strength after the surgery. The steps for this exercise, first and foremost, I want you to bring the toes up as high as you can toward your shins. The second part of this is I want you to squeeze your quad down to the ground. You can use a pillow. In this instance, I am not, but you can use a pillow underneath the knee to feel the activation of the knee pushing down into that pillow. So sometimes I use with my patients, I put my hand underneath their knee and I want you to squeeze my hand. This allows you to feel the quadriceps to activate. The quad set is then progressed into a quad plank, which is a quad set that's held for a longer period of time. Another critical exercise to activate the quadriceps muscle is the neuromuscular electrical stimulation unit, or the NMES. The NMES uses electrical stimulation to help your quad contract more effectively. Due to swelling, pain, and other reasons after ACL reconstruction, your quadriceps is turned off essentially. So the NMES, or the neuromuscular electrical stimulation, helps more or less wake up the quad. So the stimulation that you're getting to the quad is more effective than what you can do on your own. Therefore, it's helpful to get the quadriceps muscle back. In this video, I'm doing a very simple quad set with the NMES activation. Consult your physical therapist or your rehab specialist as far as the different exercises you can perform with the NMES on, the frequency, and how often throughout the day. The next exercise that I like to progress for quad strength is a straight leg raise. There are modifications to this exercise. The first time I do this is generally just sitting off the edge of the table where you can squeeze that quad back and try to lift it off the ground. Before you begin the straight leg raise, I bring my toes up as high as I can to my shins, and the second thing I do is I squeeze my quad, or I try and drive the back of my knee down into the table or the pillow underneath the knee. Once the leg is lifted, the goal is to keep as straight of a knee as you possibly can. I cue this with my athletes, try and keep your knee as stiff as a board. Same thing as you lower the leg, you're trying to maintain the highest level of quad contraction that you can, so as you lower the leg, the knee stays as straight as possible. An appropriate progression from the straight leg raise when you're seated off the edge of the table is a straight leg raise completed on the table. Some of the most common mistakes that I see after ACL reconstruction, first and foremost, you're not working on extension long enough. So you end up walking with a bent knee, even with crutches, you sleep with a bent knee, and you sit with a bent knee. This can cause extension issues going down the road. So what I suggest, conversely to that, is sitting with the knee straight, sleeping with the knee straight, or even propped. And when you walk, you should have an appropriate extension position before you load that joint. Another very common mistake that I see is thinking that doing these exercises just a couple times a day or only when you're with your physical therapist is enough. The frequency, as we discussed when we talked about the exercises, has to be done quite often throughout the day in order to see the most appropriate results. Next common mistake that I see is not icing or using compression. So icing helps decrease the amount of pain levels that you have, although temporary, it helps with pain relief. The compression side of things actually helps the most with the swelling. So the combination of the two, icing and compression, can help the most with pain and swelling. The ability to help with pain and swelling helps your ability to go through these exercises, helps your ability to walk, helps your ability to activate the quad and move on with your rehab. Going along with staying on the frequency and the increased frequency throughout the day of performing these exercises, another common mistake that I see is not activating your quad enough throughout the day. So whether you're in school, whether you're sitting at your desk, whether you're at work, no matter what it is, the ability for you to contract your quad consistently and often, even up to 200, 300, 400 times a day, is going to help with that quad strength. Lastly, one of the most common mistakes that I see is discontinuing crutches too early. So if you have an inability to get the knee straight and you have an inability to truly activate your quad sufficiently, you're going to see deficits when you go to walk for the first time. So if you're not using your crutches, you're most likely walking with a bent knee. And this can be problematic for all the reasons that we discussed earlier, whether it's an increase in pain, increase in swelling or inflammation, and a decrease or inability to get the knee straight again. So our major goals for the first 7 to 10 days or 7 to 14 days is your ability to get the quad to activate appropriately, our ability to get the knee straight or down to roughly 0 degrees, to improve or decrease swelling, to decrease pain, and begin walking with a normal gait pattern. If you can take care of these goals for the first 7 to 10 days, this sets up the success for the rest of the rehab. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, share with anyone currently going through the ACL reconstruction process or going to be in the future. If you have any questions, please comment below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.